Hey YouTube, what's going on? Hey, happy to be with you today. This is kind of, just thought I'd do like 4 months in review. Tomorrow or the next day, I'm right around that 4-month mark. And forgive me, I need to have a haircut. I need to get a haircut here pretty soon. It's on my things to do list, but recently, if you've been watching the channel, and this is There Has to Be Something More, I'm your humble host, Scott Moore. And if you've been watching the channel before, you know that last 10 days or so have been pretty tough. We had to put one of our dogs to sleep, our little Abigail. I've been fighting cancer for a year. And also had dengue fever. Got bit by a mosquito. And man, it was rough. And the doctor tells me that what I had was very, very light. But for the most part, I just completely lost any appetite and had no energy. I mean, I did not want to get out of bed, and nothing sounded good to eat, nothing tasted good. I mean, it was bad. But I am definitely on the mend. I've gotten my blood work checked over and over again. Everything keeps getting better and better, so everything good there. But it was tough. Now, on the bright side, there were some good things that came out of that. First thing is, I was weighed for the first time since I've been here. I'm not exactly sure how much I weighed when I got here. I have a pretty good idea because although when I was younger, my weight used to fluctuate tremendously, way up, way down, was always battling the diet. But after going vegan 6 years ago, my weight really stabilized. I mean, to the point where, I could pretty much eat and eat and eat and eat. I always stayed in about a 10-pound range. It just didn't matter how much I ate. I always stayed in that 10-pound range. So I'm down about 30, maybe 35 pounds since arriving at the end of February. I believe I got here the 24th or 25th of February. So that was good news. And, one of the things that I had always heard about when I was out there watching a lot of YouTube videos about traveling and moving to different countries was, one, the produce is so much better in many of these countries, which I have found to be absolutely true. It's like going into, and this is not a bash the U.S., I love the U.S., but you go into Publix and the bananas are all green. Or it's just like everything you bring home, you have to wait for 3 or 4 days or a week before you can eat it. Here, there is just unlimited fruits and vegetables, and it's ready to eat. So, the last couple days have been bananas and pineapples and mangoes. And the diet, my diet has vastly improved, because I don't eat a lot of that, Impossible burgers and Beyond Burgers and Gardein chicken nuggets, all the vegan meats and cheeses. That's all gone just because it's not available here. I miss it. I love it. It's not super healthy, but anyway, so that's something that's kind of gone away. And then the other thing that I always heard from a lot of the expats were, hey, I've gone from going every single place I ever go in a car to now I'm walking. And that's been absolutely true. We walk all the time anyway. We have to walk to pay bills. You don't do your online bill paying here. So we usually have an errand or two to run during the day. And so that involves walking somewhere. And when we don't, then we just kind of, on my days where I'm not going to the gym especially, we make a point of doing a long walk. So here in Matagalpa, we live close. There's 2 main parks, Parque Ruben Dario and Parque Morazan. And we live close to Dario, so we just kind of have a loop that we do that takes us, depending on, we don't rush it or anything. We're just kind of, walking, strolling along. But that's a pretty good loop to do, kind of walk up to Parque Morazan, look around, see what's going on there, and walk back towards Parque Dario. And then we're about 6 blocks or so away from Parque Del Rio. So we're always walking, and so, hey, the same thing happened to me that happened to many expats that moved to different countries, is all of a sudden you're walking a lot, and all of a sudden you go, holy cow, I'm dropping weight like crazy. So I had to kind of go through my clothes, and then now I've got a lot of clothes that I can't wear, and some of the stuff that was too tight before, that's what I'm wearing now. So I don't know if I'm sorry, there's a couple flies in here that are loving me. But life here has been really tranquil. Now, tranquil does not mean quiet, because there are roosters, dogs. There's the one thing you have to get used to if you haven't been here before, the cars with the giant speakers that are doing advertisements driving through the neighborhoods. So not always quiet, although I will say by like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, at least in the last 2 neighborhoods that we've lived in, completely quiet. I mean, really, really completely quiet. Last night I walked out on the front porch about 10 o'clock just to see if anything was going on out there. And there was one little boy just kind of walking through the neighborhood. Must have been like 5 years old. I mean, everything here is peaceful, and you just, anyway, nice, quiet, tranquil. So, and everything in the house, continues to get quieter. We've gone from 3 years ago, more or less, we had 6 dogs in the house. So we had a big pack, and it's kind of like when the girls were leaving the house and finishing school and leaving. Every time one left, it got way quieter. And when we went from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 0, I mean, every single one just got much, much quieter in the house. Kind of the same thing here. So we still have Sam, our little Jack Russell, and Roscoe, our 3-legged Doberman. They're both 15, 16 years old. So Sammy is still very, very active. They both bark a little bit, but pretty quiet around here. So we continue to love being here. And you hear this from people on YouTube all over the place, but the people here are very, very friendly. And we continue to love and appreciate that. We have had one issue with the water tank here. As unbelievable as it is, that's the number one reason we moved out of the last place, was we had electricity and water problems. Here, it's not any huge big deal, but there is some issue with the water tank, and the next door neighbor has been so nice and been coming over here like every other night to check. He's coming over again tonight, because that's when the city runs the water to you every 2 days. So it'll be again tonight. All of a sudden they'll start pushing water, and we just want to make sure that it's getting through the tube to go to the water tank. But just another example of people going out of their way to be helpful and friendly. And but it's been great since we've been here. We just seem to keep running into more and more really, really nice people. We've made some great friends since we've been here. Lydia is over in Corinto, spending a couple days with her family. And of course, she's just doing nothing but complaining about the heat. Now, if you know us, we just absolutely love cool weather. It was the one thing we worried about when we moved here. And it's the reason we're in Matagalpa, is because Nicaragua, for the most part, is a very, very hot, humid country. Matagalpa is one of the handful of cities that is a little bit cooler, because it's up in the mountains. Still, at least so far this year, has not been cool enough for us at all. Now, we knew March, April, May were the hottest months, and they were tough. I mean, it was like 87 to 91 were the highs every day. So we made it through that, but we were hoping it'd be a little cooler by now. But like now, most days the high is around 83, somewhere around there. So not terrible, and most people would say, oh, 83, that's wonderful. We just kind of have a different thermometer, I guess, and both of us grew up in really, really hot, humid places. Lydia in Corinto, and me in Siesta Key, Florida. And we just love, love, love the cool weather. When we open the door in the morning and get a blast of cool breezes, it just makes us happy, just puts a big smile on our face. So it should continue to go down a little bit. I mean, I think most of the year the high is around 80. And it'll be nice if we get the temps down. Like the lows right now are like 68 to 70. So we would definitely prefer those cooler. But this is of all the places we're going, and we're gonna run between Mexico and Argentina, this is the hottest place that we'll visit. So we'll make it through, and it's not been too bad. We have the little air conditioner unit that we run at night when it's hot at night. But Lydia's over there complaining in Corinth. She's not very happy about the temperatures. Today is Father's Day in Nicaragua, which is, it's a big deal, I guess, but not nearly as big as Mother's Day here. But today is Father's Day, so any of you that are out there watching, happy Father's Day. But the days here are flying by, and so we've been here 4 months now. We've got about 8 months to go. Our plan is to leave somewhere around February 20th, 25th, somewhere around there, with our next stops. And you know, some of this does depend on visas, but our plan is, if we can arrange the visas correctly, we're going to do 6 months in Guatemala and 6 months in Mexico. We're going to do 3 stops in Guatemala, so I guess maybe 2 months in each. We're going to go to Antigua, then we're going to go to Lake Atitlan, and then we're going to go to Xela. And all 3 of those we are really, really excited about. Antigua used to be the capital of Central America a long time ago, and it's got the cobblestone streets and the real colonial looking areas. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And then of course Lake Atitlan, you know, some people say is the most beautiful lake in the world. And there's a lot of towns around the lake that you can go to, and you go to them by water taxis for the most part. So that'll be really, really cool. And Xela is kind of a little bit unknown, but it's about where Antigua and Guatemala are about 10 degrees or so cooler than where we are here. Xela is about 20 degrees cooler. It's got a high elevation. Looks like a beautiful city. We really don't know a whole lot about it, so that's going to kind of be interesting and fun to go spend a couple of months in Xela. And then we're going to cross the border into Mexico and do 6 months. As long as we get 6 months on our passport, we're going to do 6 months in San Cristobal de las Casas, which is, of all the places we've researched, that's one of the big ones that we think we're really, really going to love. As far as here and expenses go, we continue to spend about the same. It's about, for both of us, and it's not a target we're trying to hit. It's just what we're spending. We're spending about $1,100 a month for the 2 of us, and that's for everything. Now, this last month, you know, we spent $700 or $800 to put Abby to sleep and to have her cremated. We spent about $350 for all of my dengue fever stuff. And that included doctor visits, ultrasounds, blood work over and over again. So like an ultrasound cost $100. And I got great news there because they found a kidney stone and gave me medicine to dissolve that. Eventually, if they wouldn't have got that, again, I apologize for the fly buzzing my head. I would have had to pass that kidney stone. I've done that before. I don't ever want to do that again. So it was almost worth it to get dengue fever just to make sure I don't have to pass a kidney stone again. Now, expenses we believe will be going up as we move. Guatemala and in San Cristobal in Mexico, we're estimating instead of spending about $1,100 a month, we'll be there shorter times. So it's a little more costly to negotiate, you know, prices with apartments and things like that. So we're guessing $1,500-$1,600 a month. Now you can, here as in all the places we're going in the future, you can live as fancy as you like, low budget or high budget. You know, for us, we just think it's going to run $1,500-$1,600 a month, somewhere around there. Again, Lydia and I have just loved being retired, absolutely love it. And it's, some of the stuff you can't really, point a finger to, except just to say, you get to wake up and do whatever you want to do. And sometimes that's nothing. I mean, you just go, you know what, I just don't feel like doing anything. I'm just going to hang out today. But we are absolutely loving being retired. So if you are retired and bored and need an adventure, if you are close to retirement, but not quite sure if you have enough money, if you are in your 50s and you're kind of trying to make a plan, because we started planning this about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, you can do it. And, there are definitely ways to do it. You can get out of the rat race. For me, it wasn't that I hated my job, but some days just wake up and go, I would just rather be doing what I want to do. So hope you follow the channel. I think you'll get a lot of useful information. Just being able to kind of see our daily lives and what they're like, what we're spending, what we like, what we don't like, things, you've already figured out here when you rent a place, you better be asking about electricity and water. You may even want to ask to see a couple of the past bills. But with that being said, just remember, if you're sitting in a cubicle somewhere, or you're at work watching this, if you want to get out, just remember, and you need an adventure, there has to be something more. Thanks again for watching. Please take a minute to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.